Next up, The Change-Up, directed by David Dobkin, starring Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman.
Close friends Dave and Mitch, one a family man and a successful lawyer, and the other a carefree ladies' man, accidentally switch bodies after a night of drinking.
I'm a douchebag. I'm a tool.
Oh my God!
Shocked by the switch and unable to deal with their new realities, they become desperate to get back to where they once belonged. But when Dave's coworker drops a bomb, they have to struggle to avoid ruining each other's lives.
I actually used to have kind of a crush on Dave.
You didn't.
We've all just seen it. Brian, what do you think about the story?
Well, I mean, it's a story structure that we've seen, 100 times, and it's two people, switch places through spending time in someone else's shoes. They kind of learn a little bit more about themselves, and in the end, they kind of become a better person because of it. For a formula comedy, it sort of hits the beats in a really compelling, really clear way, and I felt like I always knew where I was supposed to be with all of the characters. Despite the fact that there's not really anything new going on here, I still enjoyed myself.
A comedy should have interesting characters and characters that I'm invested in, and this comedy did not. Both Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman's characters were very similar. They were uninteresting to me. I wasn't invested in their storyline. I wasn't invested in their change. So by the end of the movie, I wasn't invested or interested in the film because I wasn't interested in the two main characters that the film was about. This whole experience that they're sharing, I didn't care about.
Oh, I disagree. I feel like there was a good rapport between the two guys. I think there was good dialogue, and I think they had a nice sort of witty banter between the two of them.
You thought it was witty?
I did think it was witty. You know what I mean? There's a few poop jokes in there that I wasn't really a big fan of, but I thought the actual sort of like guy talk between the two of them I could really understand and vibe between the two guys.
This is called a suit. You wear one every day, along with a necktie, black, not white socks, dress shoes, not shower sandals.
Please.
Of course,
These
underwear.
Are awful. Oh, come on.
No more commando. Mitch, you're a grown-ass man. Put them on.
The problem with these movies usually is that, they're supposed to magically transform from, sort of a crappy guy to a great guy in, an hour and a half or 2 hours, and that doesn't always feel right. But in this film, it did. I actually think you do see them becoming better people through interactions with, supporting cast members.
Yeah, I agree. I think the way that you have characters learning about themselves from other people through the different bodies. So Ryan Reynolds can only learn stuff about himself from his dad because he's in Jason Bateman's body, and vice versa. And I like the way that was lightly passed off and not heavy-handed. And like you, I had a lot of fun with it because it had that crazy slapstickness, but then also it was a bit mature and it was a bit sort of human in the end.
For me, the biggest problem was that I didn't feel like there was enough distinction between the two characters. I felt like they were really kind of the same person.
Don't you think it was a bit refreshing, though? For the first time, we've had an adult comedy this summer that has been truly adult. This one goes balls deep into some crazy, weird-ass things.
Well, I've experienced some much deeper balls, just to say, just to put that out there.
Okay, I love poop jokes, don't get me wrong,
I don't
but
think you do.
I do, but I don't want to see poop in someone's mouth. I'm done, like once I see boobs like at least 3 times, like okay, I get it, whatever, move on.
Do you have something against boobs?
Comedy.
I don't know what's your problem.
No, I don't have anything against boobs.
From the acting standpoint, do we believe in the swap?
I think Jason Bateman does a really good job of incarnating Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he has spent so much time over the past 10 years being that straight-laced foil to the comic madcapness. And for once to see him cuss and do and say stupid things.
Carol, her poem was probably much better than yours. Let's eat.
Dave.
Well, I didn't read the bitch's poem, but maybe she can really turn a phrase, Let's eat.
He breaks out of his mold enough to make it believable. I don't think Ryan Reynolds has the same range. I think he's a magnificently funny, profane, super dick bastard for the most part, right? And you see that in the first 5 minutes, and that's great, and then he's gone. And he can't really hold up the Jason Bateman end, but Jason Bateman does a really good job of becoming Ryan Reynolds. I think it's great.
Because there's more to being a lawyer than what you see on TV, Mitch.
Is there?
Yeah.
I object!
Oh my God.
Okay.
No, wrong, my friend. You don't know the first thing about being a lawyer.
You're not a trained actor.
Neither are you.
I think we're kind of splitting hairs a little bit by comparing whether Reynolds or Bateman is better. I think they're both kind of likable in their roles, but I think The problem with their performances kind of stems from the premise again, which is I think, you know, a 30-something white guy is changing spaces with another 30-something white guy, and they kind of both look similar, and they both kind of have similar mannerisms. So, like, these guys don't have a lot of range. I don't really know if we're really supposed to see much of a difference between the two guys.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a problem, but I mean, I think that they do, you know, well with the material, and I think they're both amiable performers in the movie.
So sensible. Kudos to you.
Look at him, the voice of reason.
Well, moving on to the director, David Dobkin. He's done Wedding Crashers, Fred Claus. Compared to his other successes with his comedies, does this match up or no?
I think the fact that we really don't experience the presence of the filmmaker in the film allows the comedy and the story and the characters and the performances to really do what they're supposed to do. So sometimes directors have to get out of the way of all of the other elements of making the film.
It's time for the final verdict. Take your tickets.
Okay.
I am not a proud man. I laughed my ass off all the way through this movie. It's economical, it's funny, it's raunchy, but is it destination viewing? Is it need you to go to the theater? No. Lots of fun, but it's a stream it.
You know, I don't think it has enough surprises to really like justify saying a see it, but I do think that it's fun and it has strong characters that are redeemable, and that's why I say stream it.
For a comedy, it really wasn't that funny, and I like dick jokes, but just not these dick jokes. So I say skip it.
That felt like circumcision.
Gun to a knife fight. What the hell just happened?
I really found the relationship between the two guys the most compelling part of the film, and I wish we had just seen more of it. But I really can't recommend people going to the theater and shelling out 20 to 30 bucks. So watch it on your flat screen or on your laptop. Stream it.
Well, that's 1.5 tickets for Stream It for the Change Up. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. That's me, baby.